Ooh, here we go. We are live. Wow, what a game, huh? Stressful as can be. This is coming out moment for De'Ara King. Jesus Christ, what a game, huh? Kings pull it off, 44-41 in a shootout. Which I didn't think it was going to be a shootout, but let's just go right into it. Right, 620 yards of total offense. De'Ara King goes 31 of 41, 430 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay, not only that, but he also added 15 attempts for 105 yards on the ground. So again, he was the leading rusher for the Miami Hurricanes. Cam Harris did chip in with 62 yards on the ground also. But the story of the night, guys, is the receivers, right? Mike Harley, again, another career night, 8 receptions, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that last one, right on that slant pass for 54 yards from De'Ara King to Mike Harley. Listen, guys, De'Ara King was on point tonight, man. He was just electric. He was the Heisman candidate that we all had been talking about throughout the first 5 games, waiting to see when he was going to come out and just kind of dominate the entire football game from all facets. He did it today. Miami Hurricanes did it today. 189 yards on the ground. Not too bad. Okay, D. Wiggins chipped in. He finally decided to wake up and play a little football. 7 catches, 77 yards in the score. Mark Pope played awesome tonight. 6 catches, 97 yards, a touchdown also. He did have that nice drop that hit him right in the numbers, right in the six. Boom, right in the chest. But that's okay. Whatever, he made up for it with that touchdown grab also. Will Mallory had his best game as a Hurricane, probably 6 catches, 78 yards, as we learned late today that Brevin Jordan was going to be out as well. So the wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and of course, De'Ara King had an absolutely monster night. We'll get into the defense later, which was very disappointing, of course. Made Bailey Hawkman look like Tua Tagovailoa out there. But aside from that, guys, what do you guys think? Talk to me, Danny. I know we were going back and forth, all of us, but what do you think of the game?
I thought the offense looked very good. This was a coming out game, like you said for King. I said in the pregame show that he had to be decisive and make quick decisions and look confident in doing so, and he did exactly that. I can remember talking to you actually after the Virginia game. King had 322 yards that game, but no touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns today and made the most of his opportunities. So he did not have empty stats today. He had impactful stats. He looked very comfortable. And, maybe the bye week did him some good. Maybe he just realized that he needed to be that dual threat quarterback. But I loved seeing what he brought to the table tonight. I also loved seeing Will Mallory play well. We talked a little bit about how he would disappear in some games. He would get 2 catches and then that would be it for the entire game. He made an impact throughout the entire game tonight. So I loved to see that for sure.
Oh yeah, and look, listen, Cuban King is already kind of. It's so hard to go away from talking about the defense, right? Because we were all so nervous about the defense. Giving up play after play, drive after drive. NC State was scoring, moving the ball down the field. They looked like Swiss cheese out there. It was just unbelievable what Bailey Hawkman was doing to this defense, and it was concerning for a long time there. I think the players looked lost. The secondary looked lost, out of place a lot. They were struggling, man. I mean, Al Blade struggled a lot today. DJ Ivy did as well. That last play at the end was great. I mean, that's what a good team does, though. But let's be honest, right? This game, we get the doors blown off of us, and we don't come back. We don't score. Last year, the year before last, we don't come back and we don't win this game. So, Paul, I mean, look, listen. At the end of the day, the defense struggled, and Blake Baker has a big problem on his hands right now. He's struggling calling the plays. Manny Diaz, I think, has an idea as to what's going on. He may need to come in and kind of step in and make some changes. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, listen, we're at the end of the day, we give up 41 points and we're 6-1. So what do, right? Do you do something bold and replace Blake Baker? Do you just start calling the plays yourself? Paul, what's gonna happen with this defense? Because now this is two 40-point games in one season. Hasn't happened since Mark D'Onofrio was here in 2015, as everybody liked to remind us on Twitter. So what are the Kings gonna do on defense, man?
It's so weird because 2 years ago, Miami had the number one defense in the country, and I'm just thinking like, what are we missing from this defense that defense didn't had? You know what I mean? Like I feel like we all can acknowledge that the defense is super talented. There's a lot of guys, a lot of great players on this defense, but it just seemed like a revolving door. At like from the first quarter to the third quarter, it just seemed like the defense was a revolving door. You know, like NC, I think NC State scored on 5 straight drives at one point. I mean,
Yep.
it was good that I don't know. Baker pulled out some like super top secret playbook that shut down NC State in the fourth quarter, and even I mean even in the second half, I mean I feel like Miami's run defense was solid. I feel like they didn't really give anything up to NC State on the ground. And I mean, I think we saw Knight's name called a bunch of times by the commentators, but he only had 45 yards all night, you
Yeah,
know.
it
And
was that 100 yard kick return, right? That really kind of got his name called so much after that also. So I just think that they saw that when they
exactly,
went off of it. Yeah.
exactly. And I think that and also, I think there's that one driver. I think McLeod had an interception just kind of go through his hands, like it literally
Yeah.
went through his hands. And I think the play after, I think Blades almost had an interception on that as well.
Well, on the play after, I think it was a tip, right? It was a tip pass at the
I
line, and
I
they
think it
almost
was.
picked it off.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I think Phillips
Yeah.
almost was able to grab
Yeah, it was
that, but
close.
I am worried because it doesn't seem like the defense has the same tenacity, that same grit and hunger. I think the commentators even alluded sometimes where Jalen Phillips looked really frustrated out there because he kind of just seemed like he was giving it his all. Yet, they were still allowing plays to happen, and I don't know. My my theory, or not my theory, but like my prediction is that I just can't see Blake Baker calling plays past this season.
Yeah.
The defense. I mean, they have their times where they're definitely playing well, but I feel like to Miami standards, especially what they've done the past few years, is that they're still kind of underperforming in that
Absolutely.
sense. And
And look,
you
say
can't.
what you want.
Mhm.
Say what you want. I know everybody's talking about how we're being held at the line a lot. The front four is being held at the line a lot, and and we're not getting those calls. And then you turn it around, and they're getting more calls than we are when it comes to holding and all that. Say what you want about that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to execute, a little bit better. Okay, that's it's unacceptable giving up so many yards on the ground and not pressuring Bailey
Mm-hmm.
Hawkman enough to get more turnovers. You see what happens when you start pressuring him, right?
Yeah.
You saw the last 2 drives. You pressure him, you force sacks, and you force him to throw an interception on an errant throw, right, in tip pass. Let's let's jump back to the offense really quick because I think a lot of people, the comments are coming in regarding De'Aaron King's play, and again, it was one of those nights where you're just like, wow. Okay. At first, you see, okay, this is going to be a good game for De'Aaron King. He looks sharp. He's making the deep throws. He's throwing dimes. This was this the best game by a quarterback ever? Like, I mean, think about it. Forget about. I know we're all going to talk about the Heisman Trophy winners and all that, but we're talking about from a stats perspective. Have you seen a quarterback play this well ever at the University of Miami? And the answer is no, right? The answer is
No.
this is the best quarterback, right? Best play that we've ever seen.
I'm 27, so I can't really speak for the quarterbacks that played in the 80s.
Right.
But in recent, I mean, you can bring up Jaron Williams last year against Louisville. I think he threw with 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But man, King was like his accuracy on the deep ball was on point. Like even like I feel like King has a tendency to kind of have uh not overthrow balls, but the balls will go super high on deep balls, and they kind of hang in there
Right.
for a very very long time. But even on throws like that, they were smart throws where they were kind of away from the defenders. So even if it was a bad throw per se, it was away from a defender for an interception. Like it was
Right.
only the receiver can make a play on that. And man, like
What's
he hit.
what's the percentage? 31 to 41. What is that? Is that 70
That's
70
that's 75 at
percent more or
least.
less?
That's at least 75. It was 30
75
for
at
40,
least, right?
75. Yeah, man,
Sure.
King just like he was there. There weren't that many bad throws, at least that I can think of. I mean, there was just the intentional
No.
grounding play, but he was hitting guys in the numbers. I mean, and there was those 2 drops by Wiggins and Pope in the beginning. So this could have been
Right.
even better. But it's kind of nice that he was going to Mallory more often. I also feel like this was Mallory's best game at
Mhm.
UM. And it was
Absolutely.
nice to see him catch passes of less than 20 yards for once and non-touchdowns. But they were throwing to him down the middle very, very often, which was super nice to see. And I mean, you got a glimpse of, seeing you saw how potent this offense could be if the receivers make plays. They make everyone look better, and this was without Brevin Jordan. Imagine if Brevin Jordan played. I mean, King could have gone well over 500 yards. I have no
Yeah.
doubt about it. And even the running game was decent enough where Harris did a little damage. King definitely. I think there were a few keepers where King kept it on a zone read and just took it, and they turned out like they turned out to be like big 30, 40 yard plays.
Right.
And it was just a
Yeah.
very, very well balanced game by King. Like he threw to, let's see, it's four receivers had at least 6 catches, which is
Yeah.
big,
That's
man.
big.
They really
That's
helped him out
huge.
a lot.
Anthony Palazzo says he channeled his inner Russell Wilson. He definitely did.
Hmm.
He definitely did.
Mhm.
Very
So
smart. He's
today
very
he
smart
did.
tonight.
Yeah, over 400 yards passing, over 100 yards rushing. Danny Gillette, they put it together today, right? The whole entire offense put it together. Over 600 yards of total offense, 44 points. Again, maybe I should start. When I make my predictions, less than 40 points, right? And they'll put up a 40 burger. So I mean, listen, they put it all together today, right?
They did, and it was great to see because I wasn't sure. We talked about during the week. This is a game after a bye week. They sometimes struggle, and honestly, the defense struggled a ton. They looked like they were sleeping, but the offense came to play, and that's what we wanted to see. I mean, King looked very comfortable in and out of the pocket. You had Mallory, you had the receivers. Four receivers caught at least one touchdown pass. So it was great to see King kind of spread the ball around, and he looked like what I thought he would look this entire season. Like this is what he did at Houston, and now tonight he really showed what he can do. Now it's all up to him to make sure he carries it over into the next couple weeks because this is going to be a difficult stretch.
Yeah, man. Next weekend, Virginia Tech. We go to Virginia Tech. We go to Blacksburg. That's going to be a really
That's
tough
tough.
game.
Yep.
And that's a hell of a running team right there. Hell of a running back in Khalil Herbert. So you're definitely going to have to look. Hey, look, perspective. Okay, this is all perspective. We gave up 41 points 34 points on defense, right? Because 41, that one was a return. However, 34 points on defense, 400 yards total offense against. If that was Devin Neely at quarterback, you're saying okay, all right, well, 34 points against a really good NC State football team. Listen, they were ranked the whole year. Devin Neely gets hurt. They lose a couple of games. That's it. They're out of the top 25. But this could very well be a top 25 team with a top tier starting quarterback. And we have a tendency of making guys like Bailey Hockman and some of the other guys, backup quarterbacks, look like superstars, look like Heisman candidates. So was it surprising on that end? No, because it's par for the course at this point now with what we're seeing. So I'm still disappointed. I think there's a lot of things that they need to clean up on defense. The offense is here. The offense is hopefully here to stay. We're excited about the offense. Cam Harris had a little bit of a bounce back game. They still didn't utilize them in the passing game as much as we wanted to see. Although we saw early, right, Danny, that
Yeah.
De'Aaron King was getting the ball out to Cam Harris a little bit on some swing plays. I'm curious as to why we didn't see Don Chaney after those two or three hard runs. He ran 3 times for 14 yards, and a couple of them were bang. He banged through the middle of the line. He got a couple yards. He ran really well, and then he disappeared. Maybe did he get hurt? Possibly. Maybe he had some sort of issue. He's coming back from a shoulder injury, in the off season, and every once in a while he has some issues with that shoulder. Could that be it? I mean, we'll probably never know. They probably won't talk about it too much in the press conferences. But again, we're 6-1, guys. This has been a crazy ass year. This has been an absolutely crazy college football season. And when you're talking about the Miami Hurricanes being 6-1, and playing the kind of game that they played today, chances are this Hurricane football team is not going to win a game like this a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They're just not. Okay, and this time, uh, to see that Manny Diaz went for that field goal, which I thought, hindsight's 2020. But when you look at that, he went for that field goal with 6 minutes left. You said, why didn't he go for it? Which Tony here mentions in the comments that the referees were from Pennsylvania, so that's what he heard. But I mean, honestly speaking, right, in that fourth down, it should have been a touchdown. So yeah, I get that. But for him to go for the field goal, I was a little bit dumbfounded because I said, why not go for the touchdown right there? You don't know if you're going to get the ball back. You don't know if this defense is going to be able to stop them on offense. And they did. And he was confident enough to give them another shot, and they did. They forced a 3-and-out. They came back, scored another touchdown, and then they got the pick. So, listen, hats off to Manny Diaz for making the right move there. That's why we're sitting on the couch watching the football game, and he's coaching it, right? So
Right.
I still feel like he's got to make some changes on defense. Okay, whether it's personnel wise, whether it's scheme wise, whether it's Blake Baker, sit your ass on the bench and let me call the plays. I don't know. Something's got to happen there. Give me your take on. Well, let's do this. Let's break down the defense a little bit. Let's start with the front four. How do you feel that they play? How do you feel? How they play, Paul? Well, let's start with the front four.
I think they had solid pressure throughout the night. It was finally nice to see Jared Harrison Hunt get some more playing time, and he started over Jonathan Ford. And you definitely saw Jalen Phillips a lot. He was definitely wreaking havoc. I know I think he had at least. I think he had one sack, right? Or I'm not. Or he had a pass deflection, I think, as well.
Yeah, he had a sack. He also had a sack.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were definitely doing well. I mean, say what you want about the phantom holding calls. But I think they did well overall. I feel like I guess mishaps tonight were kind of from like the second and third level. I think once what's his name, the running back Ivan Knight, once he got
Yeah.
past the D line, it just seemed like he had an open field to run in. And I think it was really weird. It was just like I don't know because I feel like the D line was applying solid pressure on Hawkman throughout the night. And you saw what happened when especially in the fourth quarter, where once they kind of pushed him out of the pocket, once you saw Nesta get all in his face, he was running for his life, and he made bad throws. And I think just like a lot of it is mostly on the linebackers and the DBs. I mean, Blades, Blades had a really rough game. There was just a couple times where all he had to do was really just turn around, stop playing the receiver and actually play the ball. Because there was that one play the receiver made that it was deep, and literally Blades was just facing the receiver the whole time, and all he had to do was turn around, and he had easy play on it, but receiver ended up making a great catch, and it's like a 40-yard gain. Yeah, and it was I don't think the D line was necessarily the problem. I think they like you definitely saw, like, whenever you saw highlights, you definitely saw Nesta, you definitely saw Jalen Phillips, you even saw Harrison Hunt a few times. It was just pretty much the next level guys that kind of struggled tonight.
Why aren't we? And Danny, I'll throw this over to you because again, the comments mention, and then I want to go over something from De'Aaron King that I just found out right now. So a really good stat line here. The linebacker play, it still seems to be a big issue here at the University of Miami. Bradley Jennings, we didn't hear his name called much today. Zach McLeod had an interception that went right through his hands. But doesn't do a really good job of covering receivers either, or tight ends. We saw on a ton of crossing routes tonight, Hockman was able to find his tight ends and even the bigger wide receivers as well over the middle or streaking on a drag route. So I noticed a lot of that, but I also noticed Sam Brooks was out of position a lot tonight, so he didn't have such a great game either. What's going on? I never thought I would say this, but we really miss Corey Flagg, apparently, right? At linebacker, missing his second straight game. But what's going on at the linebacker position? What do you think they could do better, if anything? Or at this point, are we kind of like, hey, we're stuck with what we got? Let's try to figure it out.
I think at this point of the season, we're kind of stuck with what we have, because the same sort of mistakes, huge holes, third level plays by running backs. Those are things that have been repeating over and over and over again. So I think unfortunately we're kind of stuck with what we have. I'm not exactly sure why there seems to be such a deficiency right now at the linebacker position. To be honest, I was focusing on the secondary most of the night, but I did notice that you know we always talk about making the first initial tackle, and Miami, when they did not do that tonight, there was no second or third level to come make the play. It was always a wide open hole to get a first
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And even I noticed this against Virginia too the other week. Um, when the quarterback bounced to the outside, there was nobody coming down and making a play. It was always the quarterback or the running back would get to the outside on an outside play, and there would be room. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the linebackers, but with the secondary struggling like they are right now, they definitely need to show up a little bit more.
Check out this stat, guys. All right. This is from fifth quarter stats on Twitter. They are at FQ Stats. Check this out. Miami's De'Ara King became the only third player. Listen to me. Became only the third player and first Hurricane to throw for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and rush for 100 yards in a single game
Wow.
in the last 20 years. He's King has 3 career games with 5 passing TDs, 300 passing yards, and 100 rushing yard. He leads the FBS since 2000. So yeah, 20 years. That's pretty impressive there. So yeah, it's definitely the best game from a statistical standpoint for a Miami Hurricane quarterback. But it seems to be one of the best games for a college quarterback in the last 20 years. Period. So it's pretty impressive. It's just funny how we have struggled so long for the last 15 years to find a half decent quarterback at the U. Probably the last one, which everybody laughs at it, but the last one was probably Brock Berlin, who was able to kind of get this team going and have a solid career here. But it's unbelievable, man, how long it's taken for us to find a quarterback like that. Now, what we were talking about earlier today with Blue about the possibility of him coming back next year. Not if he has another game like that or two or three.
Yeah.
If he can
I, you know,
consistently do that, I mean, that's scary, especially for a guy
yeah.
his size. And like I
Oh
mentioned,
yeah.
like the former stat, literally, because I mentioned my age, like yeah, there you go. Like that's I haven't.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple games I could probably think of. I mean, like I mentioned the Jaren game last season. Um, maybe Ja'Cory Harris against FSU in 2009. Um, when he was not sailing throws. I mean, man, like literally, like King was. I think because even NC State was trying to make King throw all game. Like you kind of saw it, and it's just the fact that he responded so well. And I was also thinking that, outside the Clemson game, this is really the first game Miami's had all year where they faced adversity. Like
Yeah.
where they really were their backs against the wall. They were like, oh crap, like how are we gonna react? And King definitely kept his cool. I mean, I remember even on that drive where they settled for the field goal instead of going for it on fourth and goal. I think after initially when they ruled King short, I think they had the camera on King the whole time, and King literally just rushed back to the line of scrimmage. Like he was
Yeah.
like like no doubt in his mind that that he wanted to go for it. But man, he's really, man, he's built different. It sucks that you may only have him for a year,
Yeah.
but man, that's
Here's the,
went off.
here's the thing, right? And Trustin Lashley. Yeah, absolutely. I think Brett Lashley's starting to put it all together, starting to figure it out. I think the guys on the field are starting to figure it out a little bit more. They're starting to trust. I think that's what it is, right? Listen. This is the third defensive coordinator for Mike Harley, for Mark Pope. I think also. Look, they're starting to figure it out. They're starting to trust in the play calling. They're starting to trust in where they need to be, and you're starting to see it that the King is starting to connect with his wide receivers a lot better. It's looking smoother, right? Yes, there's still going to be some drops. It's football. It is what it is. We're all going to get frustrated. I'm going to get pissed off, and I'm going to throw my laptop. It's that's not going to change no matter what. Okay, but you see them. You see them starting to put together on offense. I'm not worried about offense. They bring up a good point in the chat. Okay, Manny Diaz's side of the football should be a lot better. The defensive side of the football should be a lot better. But I'm also thinking this way, right? I'm also thinking college football, man, it's an offensive sport. Okay, it's an offensive game. You even see it from teams like Alabama. You saw it from Clemson gave up 28 points to
Oklahoma.
Boston College. Oklahoma.
Look at the Big 12, the entire
Yeah,
Big 12, basically.
the entire good point. Good point. The entire Big 12.
Oklahoma knows that they can outscore anyone. That's why I feel like
Right.
it's always been bad each year, but they can outscore anyone in the country. They know
Now,
that.
now, listen, you do need, at the end of the day, you do need to make some stops, right? So Alabama
Yeah.
may give up some points, but they're going to make the stops when they need to. Clemson is going to do the same thing, okay? So, yeah, the defense should still be a little bit better, okay? But at the end of the day, Manny Diaz was 0-4 after buys, okay? He was 0-4 after buys. We finally got that win in a shootout, in a game where, you know, typically Miami doesn't pull this one out. Miami usually lays an egg, finds a way to screw this up. Okay, Miami found a way this time to win a big game, especially when you get a performance like that from your quarterback. I mean, there's no way in hell you can drop that game. And the Kings did a good job and won. Look, at the end of the day, man, we're still 6-1. Okay, there is things that need to be cleaned up. Manny Diaz needs to get his act together on defense with Blake Baker. They really need to sit down and figure it out because this is, you know, we only gave up 14 points last week, but we also gave up over 400 yards of offense. So, you know, what are they saying here, man? Can we never go on a bye again with Manny?
This is his first win. His first win post bye week. Thank God.
Yeah.
We thought the trend would continue.
I saw on Twitter that someone said, "Why don't we start off the season going with 2 straight back-to-back buys, just the first 2 weeks of the season?"
So it's just a later start.
Just get it over with and let's go. Just a later start. 6-1. Fact. Yeah, man. We're 6-1.
Manny Navarro did post. He just tweeted this out now, and I was wondering about the stat. So in the fourth quarter, the Miami outgained NC State 213-6.
Wow.
NC State had 6 yards of offense in the fourth quarter,
and that's difference right there. That's the difference. But that's what the Kings couldn't do before. Okay, and they're doing it now, right? That's how you like I said, you'd see Miami lay an egg, or you see Miami struggle in the fourth quarter and not be able to put points up on the board. I mean, they Vishnu just texted. He actually tweeted this out a little while ago that I hate this team. Well, if you would be on here you should be on the show with us right now, Vish. What the hell are you doing, man? But anyways, Brevin Jordan, what a game. I wish I was out there. Was that Manny?
That was Manny for a bit. I don't know what happened.
Manny, you can come on, man. Talk to us, man. I know you're exhausted. You're in Philadelphia now. Look at this guy. You know, Dutch Valley Farms right there.
Hey, so quick and funny thing. So I just literally got some ice cream across the street when I got here to Philly. They're actually showing the game in a big screen in the outside. I guess because here you can't eat inside yet, so they have everything set up outside.
Right.
All you see is a big ass screen, and I see Harley running down. I'm like, these guys must be excited, happy, like shocked.
Dude, we were pissed from quarter 1 to quarter 3, though. We were pissed. I was pissed.
I mean, listen, I don't know what happened because I was actually driving, but like I saw that play and I'm like, okay, at least people will be happy now.
Yeah,
it didn't look good because I was like 41-31.
Yeah, we were pissed. I was pissed even when they scored. I saw that play and I go, all right. I didn't even scream. I didn't get excited. Nothing. I was like, Jesus Christ, man! Like this is unbelievable. But look for the college football fan, it's an exciting game to watch. You know, you wanted to see Manny. You wanted to see exciting. You say college football. You say the Canes are boring sometimes. This was not boring.
No. Actually, King tonight played what we thought he was, right? I mean, because the last couple of games he wasn't himself, no matter what it was. And obviously the bye week was a huge hit. And you wasn't with us for the last post game, but I said it like you got to be patient. You got to see what you got to see what Lashley does, and obviously the one side of the ball that the head coach is from is not working though. That's one thing that I think is very unacceptable, especially when in this game, like when your head coach has a specific title per se that he came from, and that's the weakest
Right.
side of the game. That's
not good.
Is a head scratcher, and it might not be Baker, but
So these last two posts are magic. All right. So time out. Hold on a second, Manny. no, Manny, you got to stay in this one, bro.
What are you laughing at over there?
What kind of ice cream? This is very important. What kind of ice cream? All right, where are you having? Because
it
first
was
of all, it's like 30 degrees.
Peanut butter fudge something.
It's like 30 degrees in Philadelphia, and you're eating ice cream. Number one. Number
good.
two.
No.
Ice cream is always good.
Degrees. It's true.
It's actually pretty warm up here right now. It's
57 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not even
not
That's not bad.
No.
That's one
No,
sweater.
No, Anthony, it wasn't THC infused because I don't think that's legal in Pennsylvania yet. So.
Yes.
Although Manny does look like something was THC infused, but he's okay.
It's Friday night. Leave him alone.
I just want to
Leave
go to
him
sleep.
alone.
I don't blame you.
Oh my God, DJ's coming to my defense for the first time all season. Where you
Don't
been?
take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. All right.
I got people behind me. You guys gonna ask me questions now.
So,
Turn that off.
Manny,
I ain't trying to show nobody nothing.
Manny, what are you wearing, Manny? Oh man, listen.
Yeah, Anthony, that's what I mean.
Yeah, sure.
Ya tú sabes.
Ya tú sabes. Listen, at the end of the day, 6-1 is 6-1, man. This is again, I can't help but continue to say and reiterate the fact of the matter is that this has been a wild year. Okay, and this is a year where the excuse could be there for the Kings, for anybody, for any college football program to say, well, listen, this has been tough. We're missing 11 players because of COVID, and our star tight end is out. One of our big linebackers is out. Yada yada. The excuses could go on forever, man. And this team is not, hasn't made an excuse. Okay, it has stuck together, and you're starting to see them gel. At least on offense, you're definitely starting to see it finally come all together, right? Because 52 points against FSU is great, but that was a blowout from the beginning, right? From the beginning, you knew we were going to dominate that game.
That was a bad Florida State.
This is a different circumstance. Paul, you mentioned it, right? Backs up against the wall, adversity, okay? And we came out and we pulled through and we got the W, man. And we looked good doing it. At least on offense, we did, right? On defense, we still got to fix some things, but still, I'm happy with the outcome. It was a nail biter, but believe it or not, guys, and I don't know how you guys felt about this, but I felt okay knowing that De'Aaron King was our quarterback and he was going to bring us back and score, right? Like, when's the last time you felt like that with the Canes? Like, that you felt confident enough that they were going to move down the field and score a touchdown to win the game in a tight game like this? When's the last time?
Not in a while. I'll say that right now.
I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit older than both of you, so yeah, it's been a long time.
Maybe, honestly, Brock Berlin.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I could even trust Kaya, Corey Harris, even. No, I can't.
No.
Who's before
No.
that? Kyle Wright? No,
And
I definitely would not.
It's definitely not Kyle Wright. Kirby Freeman? No chance, right? Kirby Freeman, baby. Listen, the truth is, like, if it wasn't Ken Dorsey or even Brock Berlin in that year against the Gators that we came back from being down 33-10,
Yeah.
who would have thought, man? And we did, right? We came back and we pulled it off. So, yeah, I mean, that was great, but it's been a long time since we see that and we're comfortable with it. Oh, yeah, that's what it was, 33-10, buddy. All right.
And against FSU, I think that was 04 as well. I'm not sure if that was the same year as the Gators game, but when they were down 10-0 going into the fourth, ended up tying it up, forcing it overtime, and then Frank Gore to carry the rest. That game is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
That was FSU.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite UM game of all time.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, we have a special
16-10. 16-10, I remember that.
Yeah.
Ryan Clement. Easy there, Ryan Clement fan. Easy there. Again, let's kind of go over it real quick one more time. The truth is actually we only gave up 131 yards rushing. I think Paul, you mentioned that 100. It wasn't that bad. Kings held NC State to 6 yards of total offense in the fourth quarter. That was the difference maker right there, right? That was what kind of put us over the top. 131 yards rushing. I got a damn fruit fly all over the damn place here. It's driving me crazy. 279 yards passing, which for me it was just a little too much to let that guy Billy Hockman do that. 19 of 28 for 248 for Billy Hockman, 410 yards of total offense. Uh, it doesn't look as ugly as it felt, I guess is the right way to say it, because Miami put up 620 yards of total offense. So 431 yards passing. Again, De'Aaron King, 31 of 41, 430 yards, 5 touchdowns. Larry Hodges with going 100% on passing, 1 for 1 yard, which we tried to emulate exactly what they did to us and fell flat on our faces, but whatever, that's okay. Literally fell flat on our faces. De'Aaron King, 15 rushes, 105 yards. Leading rusher for the Hurricanes, Cam Harris added another 62 yards. And then Don Chaney and Jalen Knighton really didn't do much on the ground. Although at the end of the game, Jalen Knighton came in and had some nice carries there to kind of put things away also. The offense did okay. Well, the running attack averaged 4.6 yards per carry, which is a big improvement from the past two games, which has been 2.6, 2.7 yards per carry. So that's big. And then, of course, the biggest stat line of the night is the Miami receivers. Again, Mike Harley, 8 for 153 with two scores. D. Wiggins, 7 for 77 with a score. Mark Pope, 6 for 97 with a score. And Will Mallory, 6 for 78 with a score. So really nice to see the receivers get some really good playing time, and do really well. So that was nice to see. It was exciting to see. It looks like they're coming together and they're getting better as a unit. So aside from that, man, anything else you guys want to add? I would have thought more people would have come on the damn post game after that damn game. It's unbelievable.
I thought Kylie would have came on.
I drove so fast for only 3 guys to show up.
Yeah,
you're right.
Whoa, okay, don't devalue us. We are 3 very integral parts of this.
I'm not devaluing anyone, dude. Whether I'm at home, on the road, or in other places, I'm always here, man.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Right. You have gotten our backs each time.
Shout out.
I appreciate
what have I told you, Paul? I can't make it. What are you gonna do?
I would probably cry myself to sleep.
Don't call Manny Diaz. You called Denard King. That's who you call.
We'll definitely try to get the others on, because Kylie was watching the game, and I don't know where she's at or what she's doing. A couple of guys in the chat were watching it too, so I don't know. Vishnu, at least, come on, where's Vishnu?
By the way, quick yes or no, you guys are going for Georgia tomorrow, aren't you?
Who do they play?
They play Florida.
Who do they play?
I'm indifferent.
Asking who do they play?
I'm indifferent, to be honest.
Who does Georgia play? The Gators?
Yes, the Gators.
I know. Obviously, I know.
There's no way you don't.
Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
Is it in Jacksonville, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't call it the world's largest cocktail party anymore, can you?
No, well, I mean, outside it might be the world's largest cocktail party, but not inside.
Somewhere it'll be around that area.
I really don't.
By the way, tomorrow night the Clemson Tigers play once again without Trevor Lawrence against Notre Dame. Do you think that game matters at all?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It absolutely matters.
ACC championship implications. It gets tricky with a bunch of Notre Dame's in the same division as Miami, right? The Coastal. Right. So that definitely will muck things up for Miami. I feel like Clemson. Miami would want Clemson to win, just so the way to the ACC championship is easier. I would say that's pretty much the big implication there.
Yeah, it definitely has some big implications. I mean, UNC is 4-2 now, so we really just have to stay on track and keep winning. Notre Dame has to lose and hopefully drop another one. If not, I don't know how that works, right? Like if we're both just have one loss in the ACC and we're on the same side, we don't play each other. So that's gonna kind of throw a curveball.
Tiebreaker is either.
Yeah.
So.
I just don't want to see Notre Dame in the college football playoff again. If I have to watch them get blown, I'm just gonna shut off the TV.
That's actually not that bad. If you have to watch them get blown out again, I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with.
But it's just so sad. It's like all the pageantry and the fandom and Notre Dame this, Notre Dame that. Then they get blown out and fall flat on their faces, just like Oklahoma.
It's never gonna end, man.
For this
it's never gonna end.
I'm here for
You
this,
know,
man.
it's never.
No,
loves them.
what's the one fact with Notre Dame that they haven't won the championship in 32 years? The last year they did was the year that I was born. So every time I have a birthday, I'm like, oh, that's an extra year that Notre Dame hasn't won a championship.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't really care about Notre Dame. I mean, I hope they fall flat on their face against Clemson. But it's gonna be tough because they. I mean, listen, they're without, like you said, they're without Trevor Lawrence. Although DJ Uwangalele or whatever the hell his last name is an absolute stud. So I mean, it's still gonna be tough, man. They're still
good.
loaded. Yeah, they're still good. So I expect Clemson to win. We'll see. Next week, big game, Virginia Tech.
Yeah, you can't be giving up so many points to them as you did to NC State tonight.
No way. That's a much better football program all around, especially their running attack. So, we'll see what happens. I guess that's all, folks. Kings win 44-41. Good victory. De'Aaron King back in. Oh, one more question: is De'Aaron King back in the Heisman race now after tonight?
Yes.
Yep.
Without Trevor Lawrence playing in 2 consecutive weeks, this is the best chance that King has to make it back in. And I thought tonight was a statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a performance that, like you said, hasn't been done. It's been done 3 times in the past 20 years.
Yeah. So it's what? It was 400 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, and 5 touchdowns, right?
And 0 interceptions.
Dude, against an ACC opponent, legit.
Yeah. And that's the first time in 20 years that it happens. So that's big. Why he's only the third person in the last 20 years to do it. So first for the Hurricanes. So that's nice. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it if you guys want to stay on, but I am out. I'm tired. I'm done. Manny,
I'm gone,
take it
bro.
Easy, bro.
Cheesesteak tomorrow, baby.
Ooh,
Get some rest.
There we go.
Get some rest.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try out 10 places.
I think we might. Yeah. What is it? Geno's, Pat's, and Tony.
Geno's, Pat, Tony Luke's. There's a couple others that I've read
There's a
so far.
bunch. Even the low key ones, they have some really good ones too. So definitely try some.
I mean, like I said, the one ice cream spot I went to, there's like 5 stores open. They all said USDA prime steak for cheesesteaks already. Like signs already of that.
Okay. All right. Got to get myself down to Philly then, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, for sure. But who knows? Maybe this whole race ends tomorrow, and it might be crazy here.
Yeah, and then you're screwed. We got it right this time down here, right? We got it right. No issues. Where Florida's laying back with their hands like this.
Oh yeah, our stuff has
For
been
the
done.
first time in a long time, I don't remember when Florida's just like, okay, it's I guess the spotlight's not on us, but it was on us. But that just
awesome. All right, fellas. See you guys later.
Take care.
Okay, big
Take
win.
care.
Okay.
Good rest, guys.
Alex Cora, baby. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Get Manny off. Get Manny off,
Manny
please.
I wish I had the reins. Bye.